Bobcat Nation, and welcome back to the Quinnipiac University YouTube channel. We're a couple minutes away from Quinnipiac Live, the show for college students or those heading off to college soon, and we're here to answer all of your questions live. So if you send in a question, I'll get it right here on my laptop, and Austin and I will answer and get to talk with you. And so maybe you're wondering, where's the best place for me to go to school? You're in that college search process. You're not even sure where to start. Well, maybe a place to start would be New England, right, Austin? It's a pretty good place to be, I'd say.
It's pretty nice, I'd say so.
And what are some of the things we're going to be talking about?
So we're going to be talking about, I'm all the way from Oregon, we're going to be talking about my 5 biggest tips and benefits of being here in New England for school.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from New Jersey, but coming up here, New England's a great place to be. And it's just about that time, 4 o'clock, so Boomer, roll that open. Hey Bobcat Nation, I'm Katie, back with another Quinnipiac Live, the show for college students or those heading off to college soon, and we're here to answer your questions live. So be sure to send those in and I'll get them right here on my laptop to answer them for you. But today's episode, we're going to talk about the top reasons why you should consider going to school in New England. You know, the college search process, there's everywhere to go, anywhere to be. So we're here to maybe help you narrow it down a little bit and maybe choose New England. But first, let's talk a little bit about what New England even is, right? There's so much here. People say, oh, the New England area, it's so pretty, it's so nice, but why? Why is that? How would you describe New England?
I think New England is really nice because it's so pretty. That's one of the big things. Like, you walk outside and everything's just nice. There's so much to do here, so much to see.
Yeah, and all of the cities that we have around here, right?
Yeah.
You're so close to everything. You have Providence in Rhode Island, Boston in Massachusetts, and close to us, we have New Haven in Connecticut. We're at Quinnipiac, about 20-30 minutes away from there. So being near those major cities is one of the reasons why people love New England.
Yeah. That was one of the big things for me coming here, being so close to all the places that Katie just said, and then New York was another big one too. With all those big cities around us, one of the things I love personally is all the concerts around here. I'd never gone to a concert before I came here, and now I have the opportunity to have so many different venues so close to me.
Right, and another big part of New England is the great food. You have the seafood, the good pizza right around New York, so that's one of the best parts about New England. But for you, what is the top reason why you came to New England?
Other than the just closeness of everything in the big cities, like we were talking about, one of the things I really love is how close everything is to big industries and big organizations and things like that. At Quinnipiac specifically, we have the Albert Schweitzer Institute, which is our kind of hub to the outside world and everything like global and international relations and those kinds of things, and that's what I want to go into personally.
Right.
And so that has a connection to the United Nations, where I've been able to go to New York and go to the United Nations and sit in on committee meetings and global summits and things like that I would never have had the opportunity to do in Oregon.
Right, and that's where you're from, Oregon.
Yeah.
So it's very different out there compared to over here, right? Everything that's going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, United Nations, there's only one of those in New York, so being close to that is pretty special. Anywhere else you really can't get to the United Nations as easily as if you weren't in the New England area, like you said, by train or by car, however it would be.
And you have all those connections and all of those cities that we were talking about. Every single one of them is within 2 hours of us by train or by car. I've never had a car in my 3 years here, and I've been able to experience all these things regardless, whether it's through friends or transportation that Quinnipiac provides through things that I've done through the university.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, in high school, people rely on cars a lot. I know I did. Coming to here, I never realized how convenient trains are,
Oh yeah.
Buying your ticket online and being able to go wherever you want. There's a lot of trains here, a lot of stations, a lot of ways to get to things, so it's really convenient.
It's really nice.
Yeah, and what's another reason to go to school in New England?
And I'm from Oregon, like we talked about, and we have all 4 seasons in Oregon. They're pretty spaced out there, but we get all 4 seasons here too, and all of New England you at least get a taste of all 4 of them. And then here in Connecticut specifically, we get them all pretty evenly spaced out, and that's really nice. And my favorite season by far here is the fall.
Oh, yeah.
I love the fall. It's so pretty. It's so nice out being able to hike. Or go on a car ride a car ride in the fall.
Apple
is just
picking,
so nice. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
New England is known for its fall. You know, it's so pretty, and especially at Quinnipiac, you know, we have hiking trails around here, and most schools will have that, or at least easily accessible to it. So, you know, walking around on campus, it's a very pretty scenery. I don't know about you, but it makes me happier.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Walking around.
We have Sleeping Giant right across the street. So if hiking's your thing, there's 10 different trails there. So if you want to hike every week, you can hike a different trail every week.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, in all different seasons, that's fun too. So having state parks, you know, being able to go sail. Quinnipiac actually has a sailing club. I hear it's pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
So you can go sailing, you can go hiking, there are parks around, you can go skiing in the winter. That's really fun being near, you know, Vermont and some of those big mountains up there.
And we have a ski club too.
Yeah, so, and most likely a school in New England will, because how could you not go skiing in the winter with all of these beautiful mountains around, right? Yeah. And what's another reason to go to school here?
One of the big things was kind of the difference of pace between here and the West Coast. The West Coast is very laid back and very chill about everything, which is fun to be a part of for a little bit. But I've always been a very like, let's do it, let's get to the point, let's get there quick. And that's kind of the more pace of life here on the East Coast than it is on the West Coast. And I love that. I've always been very like career oriented and goal oriented, and that's something I really get more of, and more people like that out here.
Yeah, totally. You know, the different pace of life, like you said, it's nice to have at home, but then you come here and it's a little different. And maybe you're like that too, but you always have to find the school that best suits you and the opportunities that you want. And New England does offer a lot of those, whether you like the rural, the cities, being close to cities, however you want it to be. There's a school here that most likely will best suit you and the opportunities that you're looking for.
Oh yeah.
How about another reason to go to school in New England? I mean, I know there's so many.
There's a lot.
How about another one?
One of the big ones is probably food. I'm a huge foodie. I've always been a huge foodie, and we get so much. Like we were talking about, there's Boston, there's New York. When I went to Boston, I had my first cannoli.
Yeah.
Delicious. Love cannolis. And then there's New York pizza, and then there's New Haven pizza too. And New Haven pizza is by far the best pizza I've had. It's this like thin crust pizza. There's mashed potato pizza. There's a lot of like seafood pizza, which I'm not a huge fan of seafood. In particular, my mom is. When she came out here for when we toured schools, she wanted to have the New England clam chowder. Like she was like, I have to try it. I have to get the New England clam chowder in New England, and she loved it.
You can't get it anywhere else. You could try, but it's really not the same.
It's never the same.
Right. The seafood here is great, and the pizza you mentioned, New Haven. 20 minutes from Quinnipiac here in Connecticut. A great place to go get any type of food. You know, good sushi, good pizza, pastries, like you said in Boston. So, you know, you'll fulfill that sweet tooth, you know. We all have a sweet tooth. Any other reasons to go to school in New England that you got for me?
I think those are the main ones.
Right? You can go hiking, there's proximity to cities, you have the weather here, the pace of life, the food. I mean, it's really great, right?
Yeah.
And I know around here there's lots of things to do. We mentioned like skiing and hiking and things like that. And I know another thing to do are some festivals, right?
Oh, yeah.
New England festivals, those I hear are really fun. You always see it on social media. Have you been?
I've never been to any of the big ones. I've been to like some of like the orchards around here when they do like fall stuff, or like they do like stuff for like Halloween, like the spooky stuff. But one of the big ones is the Big E. It's kind of like the state fair for all of the states in New England. And I'm planning to go for the first time this fall, and I'm so excited. They have so much good food there too, from what I've heard. So it's another big thing I'm excited for.
Totally, that does sound like a lot of fun. I'm gonna have to get to one of those soon before I go. And I know you're a senior, so it's been quite a while since you first visited campus.
Yes, it has.
But what was it like when you visited such a New England type of school? What made this such a New England school? I
think one of the big things was just like the kind of like secluded, pretty campus. That's something that Quinnipiac has, and also a lot of like other schools in New England have as well.
Totally.
Is it's just kind of like set off into the woods, and it's just like beautiful, beautiful campus. And that kind of like something I noticed when I was like looking at schools here, but they're all so nice. And at Quinnipiac specifically, like we were talking about, we have Sleeping Giant as like the backdrop for our whole campus, and it's beautiful.
Definitely, it really is. And if you're watching and you have questions, be sure to put them in the comment section. We'll answer them live, talk about it a little bit. Maybe you're far from home, you're a little nervous to go to school in New England. I'm sure you were a little nervous to come all the way out here.
Yeah. It was kind of like nerve-wracking. I thought about going to school in a bigger city, like actually going in Boston or in New York or Providence or anything. And when I toured schools in those cities, I was like, this is too much for me. I came from a town of 10,000 people in Oregon, and I was like, this is too quick of a jump. So Quinnipiac was able to give me kind of a stepping stone into, I went from the super small town to something that's a little bit bigger and has a connection to all of these like really big places. And then we'll see where the next path of my life takes me.
Yeah, I mean, you never know. And like you said, when you visited, it's so different when you visit. So you got to make sure that, like Austin did, you got to go make sure you take the time to go visit these
Definitely.
places, even if it is far, because you walk onto campus and it's a totally different feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's all the time that we have for this week's show. For more on Quinnipiac University or college life in general, check out the description with our links. Thanks for hanging out with us, and join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, where we'll answer all your questions college students have or those going to college soon have. See you next week on Quinnipiac Live. Go Bobcats!